In the event that you don't dump information and they do shop you out to a competitor, talk a little bit, Dave, about the negotiation process. Let's say that Don Cherry's coach's corner wants to start doing some sales work, and now they're saying, "Well, hey, Dave, tell me why you're a better coach than Don Cherry." How do you get into the negotiation of pricing?
Well, that's the thing. If ideally, and it's a ideally is a funny word. Ideally, there is no negotiation, right? And sometimes there isn't. Sometimes it is just that cut and dry. They are qualified for pain, budget, decision-making process. Every so often, when you come upon somebody that does want to negotiate, I'm going to take you right back to the qualifiers and make sure you do a rock solid job letting your prospect know that you understand the problem and that you get them, right? Your ability to help people be comfortable and let them know that you get them, right? When I say that, I've got my hands up in quotation marks. People understand that you understand them and that you get them. The negotiation is less likely to happen because of that. I'm not saying it never happens, but you've got to do a ridiculously solid job of qualifying the opportunity for pain and for budget, and then the decision-making process. Does it always go your way? No. Right? Do I ever negotiate? Look, I'd be crazy to say to tell you I never negotiate. But my system doesn't lend itself to qualify, present, negotiate, close, because that means negotiation is a part of every opportunity, and that's just not how it is.
Dave,
right? I will tell you.
Can you?
I will tell you when it comes to negotiation, you've got to know. I'll tell you right now. You have to know where your margin stops, and don't go any lower than that. If you walk into a negotiation and you don't have a low number, right? Let's say you won't go under 8, and you go to 7 or 6, you're cooked. So have a real clear understanding of what you are willing to do before you start, and don't go any lower than that. At least start off with that advantage.
Yeah, you have to hold your head up. And hey, I apologize. I didn't mean to speak over you there. I just remembered a story that you shared with us, or an example. I guess it's not a story. You shared an example with us a little while back about how when you go to the movie theaters and they say that your ticket is $10, you don't fire back and negotiate with the girl standing behind the counter. She tells you, no, that's the price of the ticket, right? So why do we think that we can do that in other aspects of life?
Yeah. Why is it that professional salespeople, right, professionals, trained, are the only ones that negotiate price? The girl at Best Buy doesn't. The kid at the Gap doesn't. And the movie theater, he certainly doesn't, right? Because there's a policy. This is how much it costs. But if we stuck to the policy and had that policy, and sometimes we have to make the policy up in our mind. But if you stick to your policies, sometimes we're our worst enemy when it comes to negotiating, because they see that it's an option, and then they start negotiating. So they pay close attention to that. Are we causing the negotiation? Do we say the number, and do we apologize, or do we say it with conviction? Do we say it with a commitment? Right? All too often, our negotiations are a result of our weak approach to discussing that investment. So say your number with conviction. Mean it. Be proud of it. I know you do good work.
Well, I think if they see a weakness or a vulnerability, they're going to absolutely prey on that every time. I know I would. If I think that I can get away with getting money off, of course I'm going to exploit that, and I'm going to try to get the best deal possible. But I think one of the best ways to stand your ground is the next point on our list of 12 here, and that's selling on value. That's one of the best ways, I think, to have confidence when you hold your ground on price